What's for dinner? Hey everyone, I'm Chef Z and you're watching Chef Z Cooks. Today I'm going to be showing you how to make Avena Dominicana, which is Dominican style oatmeal. And let me tell you guys something. You are in for a treat because this is one of my all-time favorite things. Because as soon as the weather drops and it gets a little bit cold, avena in the morning with a little bit of bread is so good. Now, not only am I going to be showing you how to make this amazing recipe one way, I'm going to be showing you how to make it two different ways because listen, you can make it with chocolate or without chocolate. And I'm curious to know, are you team chocolate or team no chocolate? Comment down below and let's go ahead and get started. Making avena is super simple, but it's really all about technique, and no worries because I'll walk you guys through that. So first things first, you want to soak your raw oatmeal in some water and you want to let it sit for about an hour or two, and you also want to make sure that it's fully submerged in the water. Afterwards, once they've started to soften up just a little bit, we're going to add it into a large pot. I'm using a Dutch oven, and we're going to add some more water, and we're going to let that come to a boil for about 5 to 10 minutes. Honestly, all we're trying to do right here is to soften that oatmeal, which can be a little tough. So once the oatmeal has started to boil, we're going to go ahead and we're going to add the milk. I'm using some regular milk, and I'm also going to add some evaporated milk just because I love the combination of the two milks. However, you can use just regular milk or you can use just evaporated milk. We're gonna mix that all together until it's well combined, and once it's gotten nice and hot, I want to say for about 5 to 10 minutes, we're actually going to go in with a hand blender and we're going to mix it all up together because we want to break up that oatmeal until it gets into some very small pieces. Now hear me out. You can do this in the beginning. So when you're soaking your oatmeal in the water, if you want, you can actually throw it in the blender there, or you can throw it in the blender with the milk. It's totally up to you. I like to do this in the pot with my hand blender only because I actually dirty less things. So real quick, I just wanted to show you just how small I like to blend my oatmeal. I like to get it until it's really nice and fine, and it's totally up to you later on if you want to strain it or if you just want to leave it in. Now we're going to move on and we're going to start seasoning our avena with some sugar, some cinnamon sticks, some lime wedges, which is really going to give it some awesome flavor, some ground cinnamon, some ground nutmeg, some ground cloves, and some vanilla extract. And last but not least, we're going to add just a pinch of salt just to balance out all that sugar. Now I'm going to go in and I'm going to mix everything with a whisk because that ground cinnamon does have the tendency to clump up. If you're not using ground cinnamon, you can simply mix everything together with a spoon. You now want to keep a very close eye on your avena because all of that sugar will have a tendency to stick at the bottom of the pot, so you want to stir constantly, and you know your avena is done when it starts to kind of wrinkle at the very top, so you can cook your avena until it reaches your desired thickness. If you like the regular avena without the chocolate, it's done right here. And I'm actually going to take out just a little bit because I'm now going to show you how to make the chocolate version of avena, which is so good. So first things first, we're going to add some cocoa powder and we're going to mix it all together until it's well combined. And I'll be honest with you guys, I always use Nesquik to make my avena because it's what my grandmother used. And anytime I try to use some fancy cocoa powder, it just doesn't come out the same. So use your favorite cocoa powder. So it's really that simple. Just add the chocolate and your chocolate avena is done. And once you're ready to eat it, you want to go in and you want to take out the cinnamon sticks and the lime wedges. And just like the regular avena, you want to stir constantly just to make sure it doesn't stick at the bottom. So now, if you want your avena to be silky smooth, feel free to run it through a sieve. And this is totally optional. You have people who like their avena super thick and clumpy, and then you like others who like it thick but smooth, and then you have people who like it runny and smooth. And depending on who you are, feel free to adjust it accordingly. So that can mean running it through a sieve like I'm doing it right here, or adding more milk to make it a little bit more runny. Keep in mind that the avena that you see here left behind in the sieve is totally edible and you can eat it. In fact, I like to take that leftover avena and I like to actually eat it for breakfast on the day that I make a fresh batch of avena. Now, because avena has a lot of sugar, it will have the tendency to also develop a skin, so you want to make sure to cover it. So there you guys have it, my recipe on how to make Dominican style avena 2 ways. Comment down below and let me know which way that you like. And don't forget to dip that bread in your avena, because let me tell you something, it is the absolute best part. Until next time, I'm Chef Z y buen provecho. All right, guys, before you go, I have another quick tip because you guys know I love setting you guys up to succeed. So quick thing about this recipe, guys, it's really not that complicated. So much of it is to taste. So feel free to taste it as you go along, because you can add as much sugar as you want, cinnamon, cloves. If you're like me, you're going to add a little extra cinnamon and a little extra cloves. Now, the beautiful part about this recipe is that you can make a large batch ahead of time, like on a Sunday or a Saturday, put it in the refrigerator, and then warm it up for breakfast throughout the week. Now, I will say that when the avena cools down, especially in the refrigerator, it's going to thicken up. But don't freak out, because when you're warming it up, just add a little extra water or a little extra milk, totally up to you. Taste it, see if it needs a little extra sugar, and then just adjust the flavors accordingly. And like always, please guys, don't forget that when you're having that avena, go ahead and dip your bread. That is my favorite part. Thank you guys so much for watching today's video. Don't forget to subscribe and click that bell so that you're notified each and every single time I post an all new video. And if you need some inspiration and you're looking for something to make for dinner, go ahead and click right here.